You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes.
Hello, it is Sunday the 20th of April 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And I didn't really say where I was going to be at the end of the last podcast for this one because there was actually a choice depending on when in the day I recorded it, and I decided to wait. So I'm actually in Sydney, although it's a bank holiday Monday, and I've got a craving for a very specific coffee. So because I'm ketoing, I have to have milk that hasn't got much carbohydrates in it, which really is a choice between almond milk or what's the other one, coconut milk. Now in a coffee, coconut milk just tastes weird. I think I said this the other day, and I've really got the urge. So I'm actually walking towards a Starbucks that Starbucks website is hinting might be open. Now the problem I've got is that I'm in the middle of the central business district in Sydney, and a lot of the time basically most supermarkets only open Monday to Friday because they're here to serve the people who work in the offices, and being a bank holiday Monday, none of the offices are open and none of the gyms are open, and I'm a little bit concerned that none of the coffee shops are going to be open either, and they're just not very good at updating their websites. So like you used to Google saying, oh, the opening hours might change based on the bank holiday. Well, they don't bother to update the actual websites here. So unlike, like the Tesco website at home, it'll tell you what the opening hours are on the bank holiday weekend, or if it's open or closed or whatever. Here, it's leaving you guessing. So I've deliberately built a bit of a cliffhanger into this podcast. I'm walking towards a Starbucks for this coffee, but I don't know if it's open. The website kind of is a bit yes or no. So yeah, we shall find out. So I'm walking up a hill now, which might sound a little bit out of breath, and I just need to quickly go into Google Maps to work out where I need to go next. Slightly around the corner and then in a straight line. Oh, that's good, I can cope with that. So what's happened to me in the last couple of days? Well, I did some more writing yesterday. So you may have realised I was a little bit concerned about Chapter 1, because Chapter 1, I didn't have an edited copy. So somehow I managed to save Chapter 2 in the file that was supposed to be Chapter 1. So the editing work I did on Chapter 1, I didn't do. What I was hoping to do was, if I'd remembered, I'd have brought the notes, because when I did the editing first time round 2 years ago, I amended anything I'd changed. I wrote onto a piece of paper, onto a copy of the chapter, but I forgot to bring that with me. So I either left me the choice of editing out of sequence, so choosing not to do Chapter 1 until I got home, or just think sod it and do Chapter 1, even though it would probably have more work needed doing. And that's what I chose to do. And actually, in the end, it wasn't as bad as I thought, and I quite enjoyed reading the chapter. So I've done the screen version of the edit, and I'm now in possession of a printout, and hopefully at some point whilst I'm in Sydney I will get Chapter 1 signed off. And again, I really enjoyed reading it because I was kind of worried that my characterisation with Ronnie might not be quite right, because I only felt like I sussed her out towards the end of the writing process. But actually, reading certainly the chapter 1, which is the first time we meet her roundabout at the right age, it read really well. So it's set 2 years before, so the prologue is set like 9 years before the majority of the rest of the action. And then Chapter 1 is set around her 16th birthday, so a couple of years before she goes to university. And I can see the Starbucks now, but I can't tell whether it's open or not. This is going to be a real nail-biting cliffhanger. Sorry. It felt like the right character. So there's a bit where her parents have basically procrastinated having a conversation with her that they should have done years ago about the fact she's adopted, and they psych themselves up to it, and she's like, oh, I already knew, Dad doesn't lock his filing cabinet. And it's so her, and it just worked. And so reading that made me feel, you know what, hopefully there isn't going to be as much work needing to be done on this chapter than I thought there would be. Sorry, not on this chapter, on this whole draft. So yeah, so chapter 1, there are lights on in Starbucks. It looks like I'm going to get my coffee. This is great. I'm going to get there and they're going to have sold out of almond milk, I bet you. But no, it's looking very likely, which is great. Yeah, so let's have a look. Trying to work out the best way to cross the road without falling over. Oh, it's this way. Yeah, there's people in. It is open. I'm a happy bunny. I've been to this one before, actually. I think this might be where I got my Starbucks Sydney mug. I'm so sad. Right. So yes, that's where I am. Oh, that worked perfect. I wasn't having a look at the timing. I was just talking to see if I would get myself close to the 6 minutes. And I absolutely have. And there we go. Oh, crossing the road. Walking into Starbucks. There's not a big queue. There's somewhere to sit. Got a choice of inside or outside, which is great. Fantastic. There's a bit of a queue, so I won't record me asking for the product, but it looks like I'm here, it looks like it's open, so I will talk to you tomorrow, probably back in Singapore. Take care, bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.